Let's see how the kitchens look. How do they shape up? Microwave, 2 hot plates, kettle, some pots and pans, a little bit of all sorts. Outside, flower market, fruit and veg as well. Blast from the past, but it's still holding on. Quaint little things which, frankly, I enjoy seeing when I come to Eastern Europe and the Baltics as well, I guess, because I know in the Baltics they don't like to because it is Eastern Europe, but they've held on to some old traditional things which in the west of Europe we've lost, like little flower markets. 2 big fridges. So please don't move the refrigerator to the wall. Make of that what you will. And yeah, well used fridges. Another one there. Our exit point, where we go down the stairs. Little balcony if you are a smoker or if you just feel like taking in some air. And let's see how the showers and toilets are faring. Well, yes, we've got this arrangement where 4 cubicles, but they're all open. So if you go in there, be careful, the floor might be soaking wet because there's no shower curtains. And also, I think it's probably advisable to lock the door so you can have some privacy. Somewhere to brush your teeth and wash your hands after you've been to the lavatory and done your business. 3 cabins there as well. There we are. Oh, we can get a better view of the flower market because we can also see the fruit and vegetables on the other stall. Something just to be mindful of, dear guests, the hostel reception operates between 10 in the morning and 8 in the evening. There is a phone number if you need to call in an emergency. So after 8 o'clock at night, you'll find the front door is actually locked. And even at this hour, it's locked. What you'll need to do is, on the right-hand side, just press this little button. The door pops open. And you can let yourself out and go out for the evening in Liepaja. When you come back in the evening, that's right, we do not accept guests at night, so something else to be mindful of. If you're arriving after 8 o'clock, I don't know how you're going to check in the evening. You might want to discuss that with the administrator in advance. If you've already checked in though before 8 o'clock in the evening, you've gone out, you've come back, how to let yourself back in? Well, the answer is staring you in the face. What you need to do is look to your key set and there's a blue disc. You put it up here, there's a beep and the door will open. No need to worry that you'll be sleeping out on the grass through the night or the early wee hours. If you have had a few too many to drink, perhaps you'll be sleeping, where shall we say, at the beach, in the sand dunes. It might be as good a place as anywhere. I'm going up here now to the convenient Maximus store to get a snack. because while I'm out walking and filming, at some point I'm going to get peckish. And they've got a very nice bargain snack in here. That said, perhaps they've sold out this morning. Let's find out if our luck's in. And I just walked past without thinking, Velocipedi. If you want to buy a bike, if you're cycling through here and you've got some problem with your bike and you need it repaired, or if you want to hire a bike, this is the place to come. Nice to have this place in a convenient spot if you're staying in Hostel Brize or Piajana Bralu. Who are you looking at? Who, me? I'm just looking out the window. I live here. I'm a local. Who are you? What are you up to? Cheeky blighter. Tourists filming. That's the last I need. That's a nice characterful gate, isn't it? If you need some emergency dental work, that appears to be a dentist. Let's not tempt fate, eh? We've come to the end of the road, about a 15-minute walk, I guess. We're coming up to the town bridge. We'll go over there and we will then officially be in the centre. On the right here is a smart hotel, 4-star. I know, what's a guy like me doing even looking at a 4-star hotel? Well, of course I'm not really, but just pointing it out in case anybody viewing has found my video by complete accident and doesn't realise that I'm a cheap guy. Here's the Hotel Amrita. Senorita Amrita. So if you are travelling with a senorita, you can check into the handy 4-star Amrita hotel. Never been myself, of course, so who knows whether it's any good. But reasonably convenient if you want to be in the centre-ish. Convenience, location of accommodation, it's very subjective, isn't it? Right here, as I mentioned, town bridge, and if you had got off the bus, you would have jumped on a tram perhaps, as I recommended if you were staying in the centre, and the tram would have brought you all the way down here and then over this bridge. Then you could have jumped off if you were staying at somewhere like Hotel Liepaja, for example, which is really very central and not 4-star, but a very nice little option. Stayed there once in the past. It's all about looking online to see which hotels have got the best deals. Oh, that's a shame. I was going to walk down the left side over there. There's a very handsome old building, but unfortunately it seems to be covered in polythene at the moment. Yeah, definitely it's getting a fresh coat of paint or some replaster work. More construction further down the riverside. You could get some little foot power pleasure boats just by the Liepaja building there. Also happens to be the best supermarket on the other side of Hotel Liepaja over there. In my opinion, doesn't have the pizza snack for lunch that I bought in Maxima. That's a Maxima special only. But generally speaking, that Rimi supermarket over behind Liepaja is, I feel, the best overall supermarket in Liepaja. Here, harbour side, plenty of boats. Looks like a little red and white mini lighthouse down there as well. don't worry, we're not going to follow suit as we did in Ventspils and completely follow the harbour side, so it won't be a repeated video. Our theme today is a little bit different, and it begins with seeing the Promenade Hotel. Another option, plenty of hotels in Liepaja, and this one's changed hands of late. It was owned by an interesting character from Denmark, a Mr. Fontaine. He and his Latvian wife, well, they were significant entrepreneurs and perhaps still are. I'm not banged up to date with what they're doing business-wise or music-wise, because Mr. Fontaine's fame is also embedded within Liepaja's already famed music scene. Speaking of which, we've got the Amber Concert Hall over there, the big round bronzy thing over on the left. Over on the right, Promenade Hotel, another one which I'm pointing out this time for people on a budget, because if you're looking well in advance, you might just snag a great deal. They certainly used to offer private rooms occasionally for an affordable price for Erasmus students staying in Riga, perhaps, particularly if they're a couple and they want to get away for the weekend, or anybody else for that matter who's coming to Liepaja and wants a bargain. It's all about, you know, the timing, and if you don't mind checking online every couple of weeks, for example, a couple of months ahead, then you can just see when there's a price drop, there's perhaps low occupancy in a hotel, this one or any other, and that's your time to grab that room at a special low price and put you in the perfect mood for your little break here in Liepaja. Always starts well if you save money at the beginning, doesn't it, I find? Or maybe it's just me. If you're attending Liepaja for any concerts, music events, theatrical performances, you may be coming to this concert hall. I'm not sure how big the stars are who come to Liepaja, but sometimes you can be surprised. Now, the legacy of Mr. Fontaine is assured, even though he and his wife have sold the hotel. He does have, in very close proximity, harbourside, the Fontaine Palace food, beer and rock and roll feature, which I would say is a great place to start of an evening if you're wanting some entertainment and some affordable drinks. I'm not sure how frequently they have events going on here. Certainly they used to have something going on every single day. Those were the days, eh? Oh, we have a patriot over there, or a patriot, with their Latvian flag flying from the car. And over here we have some bits and pieces of graffiti. There's an advertisement for the Fontaine Festival. Yes, Mr. Fontaine used to have a summer music festival as well. Maybe it's up and coming. 12th and 13th of August in 2018, I'm guessing. Liepaja hosted that year's version of the Fontaine Festival. So, one thing seems to be certain, he's still maintaining the music hall, which, okay, it's not music hall as in vaudeville, it's not that kind of music hall, but it's a big warehouse building very large inside, with a mezzanine going around upstairs. And in there is a stage, there'll be DJ events, lots and lots of international bands as well as Latvian rock bands. Mr. Fontaine himself had his, or has, his own blues band, and they certainly would be performing if there's a Fontaine festival. Oh, here's something that went on back on the 6th of May, a band called Sever. Fontaine Palace, still rocking. And just around the corner next to the Fontaine Palace, deli snack, Fontaine's Deli Snack. And this place is a great place to have food. Late night food, whether you've had a few drinks or not, the smell will get you and the food will satisfy. Little bit pricey for Latvia, but it's about the quality perhaps. Delicious food, but you would enter here, late night diner, house of food. There can also be a separate bar down in that sort of cellar area and a different band performing compared to over on the right, the Fontaine Palace entrance, where in here you would go in and step up and find very affordable drinks. Why not come out here and enjoy your food and liquid refreshment? Highly recommend this place because in my experience, I mean, I'm not a big drinker, but it has been the best place historically to come for affordable entertainment. Entrance is very often free, and usually free actually. Wondering what this boat is. Is it a frigate? Is it a fidget? Is it a frigate? Thinking back to Ventspils and that artwork, that outdoor collection of would-be masts and fountain water spurting contraption. Bit of an oddball that one was. And we've got a fleet of sailing boats perhaps over there, or something else. There are some nets at the back of at least a couple of them. And where shall we go now? That's right, I don't want to go all the way along the harbour, not least because it will be déjà vu. Hang on a minute, didn't you make us go on that tortuous walk along the harbour in Ventspils? Well, fear not. I will not repeat that excursion again here in Liepaja. Instead, what we'll do is we'll take a little side walk up here and we'll find the next place where you might want to stop if you've had your first drink and maybe a snack. Back there at Fontaine's. Just around the corner up here, you want to have a little look-see, see what's going on. Some of it might be weather dependent because just occasionally the weather can change quite rapidly. That's why I've got my shirt and t-shirt today, because once the cold wind gets going, it can be a bit nippy in the mornings, and I'm sure late at night as well. We have this outdoor area on the right hand side, but there are some indoor areas as well. Places selling food, alcohol. There can be quite a gathering of folk. I mean, to be honest, you could even bring your own drinks. I don't know if that's legal in Latvia. I'm not suggesting that you do this, because I don't know if it's legal in Latvia. I don't want to get into trouble. But I would be tempted, I know, to perhaps bring my own drink in a bag discreetly, or buy an affordable local cocktail and mingle with all the other folk. As I say, it can be crowded here. If you're just fortunate enough to find a weekend day perhaps, or a festival day when there's a good crowd gathering. And speaking about good crowds gathering, over here we've got something else about to kick off. Perhaps work in order to get this outdoor space available to people who want to come and grab a bite to eat, have a drink, get away from the big crowd back there behind us. There's a very nice dog over there. Oh, he heard me. He definitely heard me, bless him. I was hoping he'd come over and say hello, but I don't want to upset him. Let the dog approach me if he wants to, and he'd be very welcome if he did. I'm not trusting cats these days, certainly, but dog's always welcome. Coming back where we entered, we have Rita's Margaritas. Yet another drink option, food option, and music entertainment option. Amusingly, it says no parking. Yes, I think somebody forgot to read the sign. The Gypsy Camp, Liepaja. I don't know whether in Western Europe and the West generally, the term gypsy is socially unacceptable. I don't think any offence is meant by the use of the term. We've got a delicious old vehicle here rusting away, giving us some character. And look at that. That's the name of Mr. Fontaine's band, I think. The Starlight Searchers, that's right. Don't bring the kids. In here, yes, you weren't expecting that, were you? Nice big stage, bar areas. Another hotel, which Mr. Fontaine opened. This is the Valhalla Guest House Hotel. Very characterful place I've seen in photographs, never been inside myself. Maybe noise isn't too much of an issue, because if you've been rocking all night, perhaps your ears will be ringing for days anyway. And over here, if you feel like well, how could we describe it? Something more akin to a traditional Bavarian beer house, perhaps? That's what that place looks like, doesn't it? I'm sure it's very nice. Looks like a beer and sausages place to me. We're getting some nice glimpses of the architecture. And what do we have over there? I think I need to cross the road. Ooh, we've got something over there as well, which we will come back to shortly. But first, what's lurking is something rather nice, I think. Not absolutely fantabulous, but still, Hercules doing his best. Perhaps a few brighter colours. They might want to touch that up. Or maybe not, perhaps they're quite happy with what they've done. Let's have a look at the other artwork. Here we are. Now, is this Mr. Fontaine? I wonder. It's an artwork sponsored by Red Sun Buffet Beach Bar, Liepaja. And the artist, Elementon, 2021. I'd like to think it was Mr. Fontaine, but I've got a feeling perhaps it isn't. What do you think? This says Liepaja's Gymnasia, which the word gymnasium often suggests a sporting weightlifting, treadmill type business, doesn't it, for people in the West? But in the east of Europe, it means a school. So don't want to do too much filming around a school, do I? Let's allow ourselves to be distracted by this character. Who is he? What is he? And what's the legend? Is he an urban legend or an urban myth? Can we see any information about him? Well, yeah, got to move with the times, I suppose, haven't I? Because if I did, I'd have a mobile phone which I could do something with and get all the information off this collection of symbols. As things stand, I'm left with just this. Christian's Dowels, 1839, 1904. Was he the artist? Was he the craftsman depicted in the artwork? Don't know. Perhaps he was an author and this character is the subject of the author's work. I think I'm going to move on because there's a couple of very young girls who are taking selfies and enjoying themselves by the statue of the Axeman over there, and yeah, I just look even more creepy than usual, I think, if I'm hovering with my camera, but maybe if we come back this way, I might get a closer look at the artwork. I won't get any greater insight into whether it's a character from a novel or whether it's a local character who people remember. A local woodman with a legend attached to him. Got a few more artworks coming up to enjoy as well, which I'm looking forward to. Just ahead. Nice building in the background, and in the foreground there's something even nicer. A bird with some words written about him in Latvian. Again, I'm left a little bit clueless. Maybe these are all figures from the stories of that man, Christian Dowels, who's mentioned back there. And what do we have here? A little mini sculpture park as a part of a museum, maybe? Just maybe? I'm not drawn in, to be honest. No, not tempted to go in there. However, I am tempted to go back across the road to see something else on this main drag to the beach. You'll find, particularly in the evening, this is a very busy spot in summer. Lots of people coming and going to the beach along Kermias Prospects. That's the name of the street. And here is our third installation. Once more, we've got words in Latvian. Here we've got 3 tankards and a platter. Perhaps a scene from the story this is relating to. Just have to enjoy it for what it is, I think. Rather like, what do we have here? Cheeky Charlie Chaplin. In 2 guises. Got the original stencil image we all recognise, and then if I'd just seen it on its own, definitely wouldn't have recognised the lower figure. 2 versions of Cheeky Charlie Chaplin. He's been brought into the 21st century. There's a crow over here trying to climb a tree. I didn't capture that on film, unfortunately. Why climb when you've got wings? Some more elegant buildings, but what's this we have coming up? Not so bright news. Looks suspiciously like, yes, roadworks. Okay. Okay, we might have a plan B coming up, I think. What do we have over here? An old villa. Somebody thinks that they are renovating, presumably, but oh God, they put ghastly modern UPVC windows in. Not everywhere, but that's obviously the plan. Oh dear. I suppose it's all about practicality, keeping the warmth in, and cost, keeping those costs down, and totally ignoring the fact that they're destroying the character of the building. Local planning office, maybe they see it differently. Perhaps it's just, you know, a case of not everybody sees things my way, so I have to accept it, don't I? But flipping ugly. Speaking of which, right, roadworks. Let's go this way. I think if we go this way, we avoid any potential issues. I do have to see more of the ugly UPVC windows. And I'm on a street, Liepaja, which rings a bell because I think there used to be a hostel along here. It was a bit of a sad case, really. I think it was summer only hostel. Australian guy married Latvian woman, settled in Riga, had a family, opened a hostel there, opened a summer only hostel here, but can't be in two places at one time, can you? The summer only hostel went to rack and ruin, I think, had some dreadful reviews a few years ago. A business plan doomed to failure. Gorgeous, isn't it? Just look at this lovely building. Wow. Oh, my heart's swooning at the moment. Can't blame me, can you? Beautiful. Boy. Very close to the beach and the seaside park. What a breathtaking building, in my humble opinion. Well, I should say in my not so humble opinion, because I'm quite opinionated about things like this. But we all are when we are passionate, and this is certainly a building to be passionate about, I think. A lovely garden, super place. And it brings us down to, yeah, we're in the rich part of town. The beachside villas costing lots of money. Now over here, I do believe we've got the swan pond, or is it swan fountain? Either way, we should be looking forward to seeing some swans. Over here, we've got the swat ducks. No swans, they are ducks. Why didn't they call it the duck pond or the duck fountain? Not so romantic, I suppose. Oh, here we are. He's not a swan. He's a handsome looking bird with that black face. No, he's not trusting me. He probably didn't appreciate me calling him a handsome looking bird. We've got a place for sale over here. So if you've got €1 million, that may or may not be an exaggeration, I really don't know. But... And this isn't too modern for my liking, luckily. Nice, eh? Huge big garden. Go on, put your hand in your pocket, you know you want to. Make it your family home. There aren't too many properties of this quality available, sir. Alternatively, I don't see a for sale sign here. This is lovely, isn't it? Another one. Yeah, this is the little area where you want to be invested in Liepaja, and a super spot. But of course, a lot of the time the sun isn't going to be shining, and it isn't going to be balmy, warm summer evenings day after day after day. And on those occasions, well, what's it like when there's snow on the ground and the snow isn't cleared and you can't get out of the house? Actually, in a gorgeous place like that, might be happy to just get round to finishing off that book you've been writing. A sleep twitch. I bet this was a grand tea room, place where elegant people came to meet, talk, have their tea, maybe have a tea dance. Certainly a big place, isn't it? Or maybe it's the grand entrance to an indoor swimming pool arrangement with saunas, private passions. So it's a private place, Possums, but it's all around here and to the beach where the Summer Sound Festival takes place every year in Liepaja. If you come down to the beach, you'll come right to this area, you'll find you can make limited progress, unless you've got a ticket, and then you can buy a ticket on the spot as well. That's an option for you, if there are tickets available. Or you can just keep walking, following the fence, and eventually you'll get to the beach, and then you can enjoy the absolutely free entertainments. So this is the end of Kermias Prospects. As it was, we walked another way and it was no problem, was it? Not really. I want to come here because we have one of the symbols of Liepaja. If I don't go the wrong way, of course, which I just have. Walking down here, take two, what we see is this symbol, a large statue, a large sculpture. The figure's a lady looking out to sea. She's looking for returning loved ones, whether they were seamen, mariners, people fleeing the war, people fleeing oppression. Symbolic, because obviously in this part of Europe, people did have to flee. There were also people who departed who were shipped off by Stalin's regime, Soviet Russia times, and they went in the opposite direction actually. This lady's looking west with some hope. Will they ever return? Whereas the people who were shipped off to Siberia, a lot of them never did return. Some did after 20 years, but sad story attached to that, of course. And another sad story, in 1950, believe it or not, there was a US military aircraft flying around the Baltic and it got shot down. And a plaque to those who lost their lives that day is attached to the base of this statue. The Soviet army or navy shot it down. What an American plane was doing here, probably spying, I imagine. It's not an incident I'd heard of before, and why should I? And now we're going to approach the lady from the rear. And up there she's got a great view out to sea, which we might not be able to share entirely, but we have a view of the sea, which is better than none. I'm wearing I was going to say a brand new t-shirt here, but it's brand new, or was, but it's got a little story attached to it. What happened was, I liked the look of it and thought that will make an ideal gift for somebody, but I don't know who. And so while I was in Australia, I think it was Fremantle, I picked this up and rolled it up, put it in a thin plastic bag, stuffed it in the backpack, and there it has lay for years and years and years. Never did find the right people to pass it on to, I should say. Now we could go to the beach right there, but I think I want to go this way instead for the moment. Move in this direction and we'll enter a more significant spot, I think. This way. Here we have, oh, no dogs on the beach, or no specific. Are those, is that like Helsinki? I'm sensing that no black West Highland Terrier symbol again. Maybe they're just known troublemakers in this part of the world. Liepaja really has gone out of its way, I think. This is all brand new compared to when I was here last, which wasn't too many years ago. Outdoor showers, water supply over here, music, food area. Oh, I don't believe it. The English have got here already. Fish and chips. And there is the fish and chips, which is served with a salad as well. Doesn't look too traditionally English, does it? And dare I say it, small helpings. 13 euros? I don't think so. Not for me, thank you. So food prices have definitely gone up. Not as appealing price-wise as it used to be, but then they have put in the extra facilities. Hello. Now this is a place where I should be standing in the middle because of the angel wings, shouldn't I? But I don't know. Am I going to do something as naff as that? I think I probably am, you know.